Yeah.
Sweet. That's
public-
even closer, yeah.
Public knowledge
Accepting
now.
patients?
On the new building that they're building, or is that
No,
existing?
Yes. There's already the Kindle Yards Province Clinic there, and then there was a Kaiser Clinic above it.
Yep.
And so they left, and we bought
Kaiser?
that. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Something about their best doctor quitting. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then so we bought theirs, and we're gonna move there this summer sometime. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're accepting patients?
Yeah.
You feel comfortable
Yeah.
sticking your finger up my ass?
well, it's the only thing I want to do for you. Yeah.
No, if you want that, you have to go to
Yes.
If you want anything else,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to go see somebody else.
Yeah.
That's all I'll do for you. Yeah.
Just
come to my neighborhood.
Oh, you need your shoulder worked on? We access that through your butt.
through the butt.
Actually, the best way to diagnose that is there might be some tissue tenderness in the prostate. We're gonna have to check for. Yeah.
That's where the calcium builds.
Yep. There could be calcium there. As
What,
a
you got
matter-
the whole fist up there, Doc?
The root of your calcific tendonitis is probably your prostate.
Yeah. Drop them.
Yep.
Drop them, sir.
Grab your knees.
Hey, is the exam over yet, Doc?
Yeah.
What's the old joke? Why are both your hands on my shoulders?
Yeah.
Okay, you took the. I was going to say that. I was
God.
gonna say
Yeah.
that. So I'm happy you said it.
Wait
instead
a
of me.
minute, Doc.
It's an old. Oh, you were going to say
was
that.
gonna say
too?
that exact thing.
Yeah, that old.
Yeah, you know, lucky for you, we don't really do that anymore.
No, I'm surprised. It's just like blood test.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's,
It's a pee
PSA.
test.
Yeah.
yeah. I was listening to this discussion with the urologist, and they were talking about urologist being like the prostate doctor, and they were talking about how primary care doesn't really do it anymore. And he was like, and you know what? That's fine. You guys got your stethoscope and you pretend to listen to their heart and lungs. All I've got is the DRE. It's the only thing I've got in my profession is checking people's prostates.
Yeah.
That's my exam, is sticking my finger up their butt.
Yeah.
One of my old primary
it's gone
care,
now.
one of my old primary care physicians was actually a guy I went to high school with.
Oh.
And the day I dropped him as a doctor was the day we had to do that. And he was just like, this is awkward. And I was like, okay, your professionalism just went out the window. You should just be able to go like, grabbing that glove, just snap. All right, let's do this.
Wait, he actually said it was awkward?
Yeah.
Oh, that is awkward.
It is.
That makes
when
it
they
way
say
worse.
it.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
I'm always worried, I'm trying to be like really straight faced and like,
Yeah.
it's no big, it really is no big deal, but
I was working in radio, and he was talking to me about his idea for an album the whole time. He didn't. I mean, it took him probably 30 minutes to ask me what my problem was, and I had this rash on my eyelids. And he's like, "So what's your problem?" And I'm like, "Fuck." And I just kind of closed my eyes. And he's like, "Oh." I was like, "You're a dipshit."
no, stick your finger in my butt.
Yeah.
Stick your finger in my butt.
Let's get this thing over with.
Yeah, why? Actually, now I think about it, why did he do the prostate exam? Yeah.
Common
was in
procedure.
for my eye.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
how
yeah.
did you like told him you were dropping him or what?
No, I just picked a new doctor. Actually, I just stopped going to him, and he eventually quit practicing.
Because he was so awkward.
And I think because he wanted to be like a rock star secretly.
I
Yeah,
wonder how that's going for him.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's exactly cutting the mustard.
No. Cutting the mustard.
You haven't heard that one?
You've
Yeah.
never heard that before?
Never.
It's the bee's knees, bro.
I've heard that one.
Oh,
Bees don't have
Yeah,
knees,
I've not
though.
heard cutting the mustard.
you hadn't cut the mustard?
Cut the mustard.
Cutting a rug. Like we all did
That's
it
dancing.
at
That's it.
friggin'
No,
Jackson's
that's
wedding.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Great
That was a
time.
good
Yeah.
time. That was a good time. God, motherfucker. Nope.
Oh, hey.
Man,
hey,
the
now.
Blantons there was just phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. That's what that was.
Yeah.
In
At the
paper
wedding?
cups.
And paper cups.
that it
I was
kept
just walking
leaking
through the whole building with. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't overthink this.
Well, I wonder what the bleeding wax paper cup did to my... You put me into AFib, you dick.
Yeah, many times. 2 times. Yeah, I've done that
It's
twice
always
to
my
you.
fault. It's
Yeah.
always your fault. All right, time to play bikes. New year underway, dreams and promises all made. Strava posts of workouts all intended to throw shade. Yeah, that's what the young ones say. One thing is true, no matter what you or I say, I'll still be hoping for 5 more pounds lost come race day. That's my poem for tonight. Welcome to 463 episode of the longest standing podcast in the sport of cycling. This is the one and only Packfiller Cycling Podcast. Think of us as a post-ride beer with several friends and one asshole. I am potentially that asshole. We're going to have to see who that is. But my name's Pat Bolger, and with me are the usual suspects, the prognosticators of pedaling, the Peloton pundits, otherwise known as the Packfiller. I'm on fire tonight. I have not screwed up a single one, but now I'm gonna. We like to keep things organized around here like a proper stage race, so that's why we always start each show with introductions and our prologue question. Tonight's prologue is brought to us with proper mention to Scratch Labs, for without Scratch in your bottle, why even bother to start? Pure clean energy, recovery, and so much more from Scratch. Use our link, please. The prologue question tonight, gentlemen, if you were a breed of dog, what breed would you be and why? Give me a second to think about that. Tonight's introductions are provided with the last words I would ever use to describe you to someone. Okay? And we all got it?
Dead.
Foot?
Dead.
Yes. First and foremost, he is a meticulous gardener, Mr. Palming.
Gardener?
Gardener. Yeah.
The
because
last words that would ever
I
describe
would use
you.
to describe you. Yeah.
He's
I
like,
would
I'm
never
not a-
say you're a meticulous
Yeah, he's like, I am.
gardener.
That is far
Because
from
you
the
live in the concrete jungle.
Yes.
Yeah. See how I did that? That's the
And you're
joke.
welcome to my jungle.
Wow.
You have fun and
My
games?
jungle. Fun and games. Yeah.
We got everything you want.
I can't remember.
Now come to the jungle.
No idea what you're talking about.
It's a song.
Oh my
Figured.
God. Jesus, kids these days.
Kids these
Paul,
days.
how are you?
Good. Good, thanks.
If you were a dog breed, what would it be?
I know I'd like to
And
be.
why?
I'd like to be a bird dog.
Would you?
Yeah.
I would say
German
you are.
short hair or a wine rider.
One focus in life.
Yep.
Bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunting.
Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Reminds me of the Bugs Bunny cartoon. There it is. There it is. There it
Where
is.
did he go?
I'm 10% pointer. There it is. There it is.
I remember that.
There it is.
10% setter.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got the pipe.
He's
He's
got
got
a
a,
pipe
yeah.
in his mouth.
He looks like
Oh
an
my
Irish.
God,
Yeah.
Paul and I were just never mind. Nobody gets that reference. Maybe somebody listening will get that reference. David's just in his own little world.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Next, to describe the words I would to use the words I would never to describe him, silent and stone-faced, Mr. Sam Waples.
That's
You're a loud, obnoxious asshole.
Yep. And expressive.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I have been related to a golden retriever, which I don't love, but I think is probably true for
okay.
just like, being like optimistic and cheery and like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? But yeah, I would say probably that.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Short memory.
Third, loud and annoying, Mr. Jackson Bulger.
Wow, that's great. I love that.
Well,
You
that is a
confused ours.
compliment. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you technically could be
Polar
opposites.
opposites.
Yeah, exactly.
At first, I was going to say a golden retriever. But the more I got thinking about it, the more I really thought maybe like a Great Dane.
Oh.
I'm really I'm of a bigger person.
Okay.
However, I'm pretty mellow and relaxed and can live inside an apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
That's
seen
good, yeah.
I've seen big dogs like that who can move around small spaces. We used to have a
Yeah.
dog. We had a full-size standard poodle, big effing dog. And this dog, I was doing a show up in the living room once, and he was weaving around the mic stands and not stepping on the cords. It was beauty.
See, it's interesting because today, it's funny you mentioned that. Today at my job, there was a time when all these kids were sitting like really close together, and I had to weave in and out of this, and that perfectly relates to
There
what we're
you
talking
go.
about now.
There you
Wow.
go.
Tying it all together.
Jackson's a Great Dane.
Yep.
Fourth, constantly texting, Mr. David Waples.
Also, I will take that one as a compliment.
Because it's like I'd asked your brother if you were coming to the show tonight.
Yeah. I got out at like 5:15. I was like, I should probably let him know I'm going to come.
Yeah.
At least I'm out by 5:15.
David just really likes to experience the world.
Yeah.
Very present.
I don't
Yeah.
live in my phone.
Yeah. Except I live in my work phone while I'm at
You
work.
do.
So
Oh, well, give us that number.
it doesn't have a phone number. It's internet.
I'm gonna do that thing like in the office where like I call his daughter's school. I put on my little girl voice. Then they passed me through to him.
There you go.
That is such
I'm gonna have to start doing that now.
You guys could just get a hold of my one of my MAs, and then they
Give
come
me their
find
number.
Yeah, and that would work. They'll come find me.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay,
they put a sticky right in front
why
of my
don't you
computer,
guys just
so I
like-
can't.
And MA is what?
You know,
Medical
better
assistant.
yet,
Marital
guys,
assistant?
you guys, you can just contact him through my chart. You'd probably get through really
Oh,
fast.
This is another reason
yeah.
you should maybe establish, because then you could just
then
chart me. Are
yeah,
you
my
coming
chart
tonight?
him. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you coming to the podcast tonight?
My insurance starts charging me for God. You talk to this guy a lot.
Yeah, I know. Once a week.
Visit charge. I just text him. Are you coming?
Yeah,
$50. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
50.
yeah, yeah. Jesus,
You're on
right?
the other end of the stick.
Yeah.
That's all you get paid.
Oh,
Yeah.
We have to pay out $250.
that checks out.
Yeah.
So, what dog are you?
I was kind of thinking maybe like a yellow lab. They're cheery,
Yeah.
They're kind of athletic when they're young, bound to get fat, that kind of thing.
Okay.
You know?
I think you're an English
Bound to-
lab to be even more specific.
Like, yeah.
Just like
An English
Doop-de-doop,
setter is what I
de-doo.
would think.
Oh,
You know how the spazzy
Yeah.
English setters are.
yeah. That's how you do race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Squirrel dog. Yeah, I'll take it.
I picked words for myself. Even I am never going to refer to myself as self-assured and financially sound.
Jesus. Throat.
Hey, if I'm gonna bust balls,
Ah.
my balls are here too.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, and when my
Wow.
wife lets me have them, I would be an overbred lab mix
I think
Bread.
that suggests
because
so
I'm
many
because
things.
I'm flighty but loyal.
And neurotic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Overbred? What is that?
It just the bloodline has been a little fucked up. Over
Right.
Yeah,
Leukemia's
there's
in
medical
your future.
problems.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
straight tree.
Yeah.
Bum, shoulders, hips.
Straight, yeah.
Straight tree.
Yeah.
My family tree goes straight up and down.
Yeah.
My family tree is a telephone pole.
Makes a lot of
They're
sense.
so cute. They're so
That is
adorable.
so good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an idiot. I don't think,
No.
but I kind of bounce around sometimes, and I'm loyal. Ask my wife. I've been married for over 30 years.
Wow.
Gentlemen, how's your cycling life? Speaking of what the podcast is supposed to be about, how's it going? How we doing? Second week of January. Why are you grinning like a
I
pig
don't
and
know
shit?
I don't care. I've always been the person like for the last several years. It's
Crushing
like,
it.
I'm amazing, and
Yeah.
I think that the house renovation is just getting to me. Like it's nearing the end, and so it's like I can see light at the end of the tunnel. So I just want to finish that,
Yeah.
and so I'm just like spending way too much time on it and not enough time doing other things. But I'm still riding some. We went cross country skiing this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ever think of just, I don't know, buying a bigger house?
Honestly, I should just pay somebody to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that to CP once when he was showing me his house and how he was like cutting and all these rooms and stuff like that. And I said, dude, why don't you just get a bigger house? He looked at me like I had just cursed his family name, just like pissed on the ashes. I mean, he was just like, you get out of my house. He
Yeah.
was so mad at me.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay.
I'm just saying. I
How's
mean,
it
you
in
did
there?
that here too.
Yeah, but this was an existing room. I didn't knock down any major walls.
Yeah, but didn't
or
you guys do a
replumb or
major
anything.
reno?
Upstairs.
Yeah. It was in
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Never mind.
Guilty.
Guilty. Jackson, you were giving a like a hand
Luigi,
gesture.
like-
Yeah, like your training week.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty good.
Oh boy.
I know.
Yeah.
I actually started a system training plan
Ooh.
for Criterium Racing,
Okay.
which I'm excited for. But I've also been using my weights a lot more. I've been engaging in the weightlifting. And then, yeah, I've just tried to be a lot more consistent with it.
Nice.
Whether it be, I don't know what, the new year or something intrinsic that we talked about earlier. Yeah, it all comes back.
Using the
Yeah,
words
yeah.
from his schooling.
Yeah.
Big boy.
I don't know what it is, but I'm just really motivated and I'm excited. I think us talking about race season next year kind of got me a little into the mood, even though I never filled in that spreadsheet.
Yeah,
I
what
will
the hell?
eventually.
Yeah.
I will.
My Google Doc I made.
But yeah, it's been good.
Did you notice how it made the fonts and the colors?
Yeah,
I did notice
I thought
that.
was
It all
very
goes
with
quality.
time.
Yeah.
Danielle,
Did you notice that I filled it out?
Yeah, I did.
Or did you
both of
notice
us?
that I filled it out for him?
You know, I'm way behind on my grading, but
Yeah.
I made that document.
Yeah.
Danielle
It's
knows
way more fun.
Yeah.
how all the dates were incorrect.
They were?
Were you using a 2024 calendar?
Not all of them, but a fair amount of them, yeah.
I was going
She
off
was-
of
she was like-
going off of the WSBA calendar and all that kind of stuff.
She's like, this race is on a Monday?
Oh, you were using a 2020.
No.
I wasn't. I picked them off the WSBA calendar.
I don't know. I changed some of them.
God damn it. Don't you guys ever accuse me of anything wrong.
Yeah. No, you're
I
perfect.
did everything perfect.
You're
You did
perfect.
great.
I'll tell you what. You know what you can tell Danielle?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling me out on that. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And thanks for letting me do all these races, Danielle. Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else got a good cycling life?
This indoor
Paul-
crap.
Tell it like it
indoor crap.
is.
I'm so done. I haven't even done that much.
Are you going to go to
Really?
Arizona this year?
No, I'm not.
No.
I don't have the funding after buying 2 bikes
Yeah.
Yeah.
or 2 frames. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the motivation. You know, we signed up for another race. Something.
Cascade Supercross?
That one.
Super Gravel?
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are doing that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna do that. And
Cascadia.
That's
Cascadia,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I have to
And
look at that.
killing my 30-minute rides. Set the bar low, and you will succeed. So
I got 4 workouts in, and when I say 4, well, I mean when I say workouts, they weren't all rides. 2 mornings. One was a row because I'm doctor's orders. I gotta work. But while this magic steroids are in my shoulders, I gotta work to get the muscle imbalance and the impingement out of the way before it wears off, and suddenly I'm back to being a frog again.
Did you get a TUE for that? Your steroid injections?
No.
I hope the USA Cycling doesn't hear.
You know,
pop positive.
if they're listening, you know what they're more going to be worried about? If I fucking puppy pod or something like that.
What
And
is
we'll
a
get to the
TUE?
other one here in a minute. Therapeutic use exemption.
oh yeah.
You don't know that? You're a doctor, man.
So you have to...
Anyway,
Not being mean
got-
to Pat.
and
It's
I got-
not a thing anymore.
don't you have to be fast to get drug tested?
Nailed it.
Or get a result.
Don't you have to? Don't you have to win?
Oh, they random test.
Yeah.
They ain't drug test the podium.
They random test.
Golly.
Hey, this guy got his ass kicked and he went home early. Get him back here.
Yeah.
Who needs to test?
Got to pee in a cup. And so I got 2 other workouts, and I'm actually this is kind of a mini topic here. One, I got a pretty long ride indoors, about almost 2 hours indoors. But the other one, I count as a workout. And just hear me out. I went to the theater on Sunday, and I was building my sets, and I was lifting these, huge platforms and moving all this stuff and a lot of heavy stuff above my head and doing all this kind of stuff. And I actually, in my mind, classified that as a workout because, there were times that I was soaked in sweat. I was really, going for it and stuff like that. Sorry for the visual about me being soaked in sweat, unless you like that.
Yes, please.
So, yes, please. Do you guys ever take into account activities other than, and I put in quotes, legitimate workouts?
Sam does.
Sam does.
I'm really good at it. Yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
when I was in a working band, I would consider playing drums in a bar like an interval workout because I would get exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, I will count. Like we went for I'm gonna call it a 5-mile walk. Really, Mackenzie would correct me and say it was probably like 2 miles or something like that.
No, well.
But I would be like, it's a brisk walk. It's a workout.
Yeah.
We were moving for an hour. I'm like, you know what? It may be like a rested day, like activity, but it's not, like it's still an activity. I count that type of stuff. VR.
Yeah.
Sam counted when he was playing VR as an activity. Yeah.
You count playing VR?
It is quite
played
active.
VR.
It is
What-
quite active.
What VR games are you playing that require your heart rate to go? Are you
Oh.
doing VR porn, Sam?
No, pistol whip. Even better.
I don't even know what that means.
Basically the
I don't know
same
what that is.
It's so amazing. I'm gonna bring it over, and then you're gonna spike at 180, and you're like, I don't know my heart caught this high anymore.
Back in AFib.
Yeah, back in AFib.
What, Jackson, do you know what this is, what they're talking about?
I have not gotten really into the VR realm because it
Nobody will.
is not
Conducive to a balanced lifestyle.
and
Yeah,
it's
you're
also
right.
it's also not like really that developed.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
Paul, remember when we were kids
Not-
and they
yeah.
told us not to sit too close to the TV or it'll ruin your eyesight?
yeah.
These kids these days are putting the TV on their faces.
That's a great. Yeah. That's a good point.
Hey.
Yeah.
Their eyes are crossed when they're done. Hey,
Yeah.
that was great.
Honey, come hit me in the back of the head so my eyes will go straight again. Does, for example, does yard work count as a workout? Not for Paul.
No.
Sam's nodding.
See, I find this really interesting because I had a conversation with my wife about this the other day. How I was saying, like, I think I was making fun of somebody and being like, "Oh, what, are you just gonna walk?" And then she said, "That is exercise." And I paused and I went, "Yeah, I guess so." And she was like, "It's just not high intensity exercise."
Yeah.
And I think we as cyclists only categorize high intensity exercise as exercise.
Yeah, because that my next question was going to be what makes it an official workout, so to speak. Do you have to work up a sweat? Do you have to be a zone 2 or zone 3 efforts or something like that? I mean, what do you
think
classify
that we've
it?
become so numb to the word exercise at this point that we only categorize it as structured, or our heart rate got into a specific zone, or we reached a specific number. We're freaks.
No.
We're so desensitized to other forms that I guess I'll speak personally. I'm so desensitized to other forms that it's like I only know exercises. My heart rate had to reach 180 beats per minute to actually lose any sort of
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I tell people all day long, like I counsel them on exercise, but it's about like you have to take into account your goals. I'm talking to people I'm trying to get them to lose 10 pounds so that they like get the fat off their liver.
I'm right here, dude. Shut the
die
fuck
of
up.
die of cirrhosis or something, or like protect their heart. And so it doesn't take a lot.
That hit close to home. Wash it down.
Wait, are we talking about Pat?
We are not talking about Pat.
Cirrhosis and heart.
Yeah, cirrhosis and heart in the same
I can
sentence.
see why you would think that we were talking about
Hint
Pat.
taken. This
But
guy
that
Tap Reglub.
I'm probably going to see for
Which is
regular
my name
prostate
backwards.
exams.
Sorry.
Anyways, you have to look at the goal. So these folks were just like trying to make. So you can make huge gains with walking 30 minutes a day, depending on where you're at. For me, I don't count skiing really. I don't ride those days because there's not time. But like, I don't count skiing as much. I don't count yard work or housework because it doesn't help me achieve my goal. Of being faster on a bike. It's good exercise if your goal is to be cardiovascularly healthy and like not die of cirrhosis and heart disease, but it doesn't help you get faster on a bike. And so that's how I categorize. Like, it's not a workout unless it helps me get faster on a bike.
I know Paul would agree with that because you don't even put anything. If it doesn't happen outdoors on a bike, you don't put it on Strava.
But
that's a personal thing. But it was funny. I came across on NPR. They were talking about this lady was going to do an article about the millennium. You don't remember it. You were 1 year old.
Yeah.
So and so she was trying to figure out what angle she was going to do, like what happened. This is a big marking year of 2000, and we're in the 21st century. And while she was thinking about that, she's going to her workout in a studio, and she kept driving around the block trying to find the closest parking spot. And she goes, "What am I doing? I'm going to go into a building to exercise, but I've got to get the closest." and I started thinking about it. And so she did research that the average person back in 1900, over 100 years ago, walked 3 times a day further than we do today. Calorie intake was quadruple what we do today what they did back then.
They took in more.
They took in less.
Oh, they took in less.
Way
we
less.
Quadruple
we
what
quadruple
they did. Yeah.
And so,
and a lot of it's absolute garbage that body can't process.
Exactly. And in my trade, as electricians, we're known as narrowbacks because we really don't do a lot of physical labor. But for 8 hours, I am busy. I don't know how many steps I was doing during the day and stuff like that. So it's hard for me to equate that as exercise because that is my daily activity.
Okay.
We are lifting things, doing things like that, but that's kind of how we kind of evolved to do. But we've kind of like de-evolutionized ourselves with all these automatic stuff. So I think this kind of sounds harsh, but I think we're now saying, yeah, I raked the yard. That's exercise. But that, like 50, 60 years ago, that was what you did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I shot a live boar in the backyard and skinned it and cleaned it for dinner. And I raked the
Well,
yard.
I wounded it, and it chased me for 2 hours. It finally died.
Yeah,
And then,
My husband died of dysentery, so
I had to
we're
ride my
still
horse
working
for
on
18 hours.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just for an egg.
For one egg.
Yeah. Shut up! You complain about the egg prices.
Those are all very good points because like that is something that I think that there's just a happy medium to be struck. Like talking between what Jackson was talking about and what they're talking about, like we are so on one end of this spectrum, like we should be dialing it back and being like, okay guys, like that actually does count as like exercise, like because it like psychology wise, I mean it's just we get so fixated on I need to be riding 20 miles a day doing these intervals, and it's like where's the balance in life, right?
Oh yeah.
Whereas like there's also people on the other end of the spectrum where it's like, can you please just walk a little bit, right? And so I think like for me, what the balance that I've struck is like, okay, if this is time that it's like, hey, I have an hour to do something active today. If a walk is what it is, a walk is what it is. That's my activity, you know. But there's just like it's a whole spectrum, and you should find the middle ground there.
Okay, that takes us to. What are your thoughts on Strava posts that consists of walks to the store, of downhill ski days, and things like that? They're all over the place. I mean, I see people who link Strava to everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're fine. If you do this, you're fine. Don't be offended. We're gonna bust your balls.
And we're gonna judge you.
And we hate you.
And you're lesser than us.
Find another
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
No, don't. We need you.
No, wait, I need beer.
I was gonna put a GoFundMe link for beer, and now you're telling them go away. The thoughts on that? I mean, I think I saw a post this morning that was like a half-mile walk, and I was like, is that in your house? And things like that, and they put it up there, and I will admit sometimes I'll see that and I'll be like, oh shit, and I'll go back and I'll delete it. Or even sometimes my watch will record a workout and my phone will record a workout, and it'll double up, and I'm like, oh god, I got to delete one, or everybody think I'm full of shit. Thoughts on people who just put that up there?
I think Strava became more of a social thing.
Oh,
So
God, yes.
and it's just letting people know that I got out and did something, or like when a friend has walked with their wives or something. Oh, that's cool. They got out. That's all. I don't think that's flexing so much, but I think they're using that social aspect of Strava, as opposed to, I think originally it was the way we use it. It's to keep track of, and some flexing, I guess. Of our writing, and so I think that's all it is. Like somebody says, I had an old teammate. It's 1 hour of yoga. That's all it says. And it's like, there's no record of anything. Just that he did 1 hour. Okay.
How many times? How many times did you fart in that yoga class?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Big question.
There's just there's a athletic athletic facility ad on TV, the Move Fitness or whatever it is, or something like that. Planet Fitness, and there's some people in the commercial just doing like full on, like their legs are kind of at an angle and off to the sides, and they're doing full on massive sit-ups. And my wife said it best. She goes, "I guarantee you, one of those people is going to shit their pants."
Amen.
Just going, yeah. Oh my God, no.
Taco Bell, I hate you.
Damn it. Yeah.
I do want to point out, like, to what we were saying earlier, with all the people who post everything, where you post like all these crazy rides. The issue I do see with all the posting of, especially people who are neurotic about it, is that we're starting to create this barrier for being active, where people see, like, you go to somebody's Strava and you're like, oh my God, they do 300 miles a week every week all year round.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it takes to be fit, and I'll never be able to do that, so why bother?
Yeah.
I find a lot of people that just think like, well, I can't do what I used to do, and I can't really like work out, because they have an idea based off of what they see online of what a workout is. And while I don't classify yard work as a workout or walking to the store, there are people that do genuinely just need that amount of activity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's a bit of a disservice when we post absolutely everything and make our, Strava profile look like we're incredibly active, and then our friends look at it and say,
Do you guys kudos much on Strava? Does anybody go through Strava and go like, nice job, great to I feel guilty because I don't do it.
I don't think it really matters.
Really?
Yeah.
So a lot of people do
I think
to
some
me.
people do like it. I the only time I go through is after I do a ride. I'll see who else. I don't use Strava on a daily basis unless I go on there.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, my friend Stu is down. I know he's down there, so I wonder what Stu, because again 2 years ago I was down there.
Yeah.
And I could see his
Palm
activity,
Springs,
and if I'm looking at it, then I give him a kudos. If I look through their stuff, then I'm going to give them kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's about it. I don't go through every day,
Would you still keep Strava if it wasn't posted to the internet? It was just your data, your information?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Because
But it would still tell you your information, like, for example, your KOMs. It would still tell you where you are in rank in comparison to last year.
know.
If it didn't post to the internet, you wouldn't use it.
I wouldn't care. Because I mean, we use Wahoo. Actually, every one of us use Wahoo.
Where's the bell? Fuck it.
Ding, ding. There we go. And that tells me all of the numbers that I really care about. But KOMs, I've cared about one, and it was against. Yeah, I've cared about one KOM, and it was against you.
Oh yeah, that's
Sam.
a good point.
So that's the only one I've ever cared about. But so I wouldn't really find an effect for it.
I would love it just to see how I compare to myself, because I don't, I'm sure Wahoo does that. I'm sure they do.
I honestly haven't seen that.
I don't go back through my
I can't
history.
I don't think that Wahoo tracks like your best 20-minute power or whatever.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I know that I'm going to say it really quietly, but I know Garmin does that.
You could say Garmin, it's
Yeah.
okay. Wahoo's
Sponsor
not
us.
like cashing in on us, or something like that.
I know that they do that because
Yeah.
I'm a part of that as well.
Okay.
So
It does record your lifetime data, and you have access to it.
and you have like little badges and
Yeah.
other things like that.
Yeah.
See, you do get rewards.
I want rewards. I'm a millennial.
And so you want the bragging rights too.
Yeah.
Do you guys want that also?
I want to be
Is that-
told when I'm better.
Okay.
Strava was the first one I ever used. It's the only one I really like. I know it's not the best for analyzing your data, but it's the one I use. I don't really care to learn how to use these iPhones the kids are using these days.
Yeah.
My God, we're
Android
so
for
old.
life.
It's like an iPod,
It might
but you can make a call with it, but you don't call anybody with it.
or text. Definitely
Why don't
do
people
that.
No, I'm not
call
texting either.
with their phones?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Well, either way, I don't care to learn like the other ones, and everything's been on Strava. So like, I like looking back and seeing like you've ridden whatever 50,000 miles on this bike or whatever. Not on one bike, but
Yeah.
I think that's cool. I'd keep it because I don't actually use the social part of it much at all. I barely look through anybody else's rides.
You know,
I mean, I'll look through like the first 10 when I get on there, and then I'm gonna go on to something else. Yeah, I got like 30 texts I got to reply to. I shouldn't be doing this right now.
yeah, this
All
is
from
true.
Pat.
Yeah, all from me.
Pat, yeah, Pat.
All from me. Hey, my
You're
buddy.
still coming?
You're coming
Are you coming
tonight.
Tuesday? Hello?
Okay.
Topics, please.
Now I know, Paul, you have Strava, but dude, when I first got into Strava, you were all over it. You were leaderboard after leaderboard. You were like the king for a long time, man.
That's right, because I was one of the first people in Spokane to have it, so I had all the KOMs until
You're-
they started figuring this thing out. That's what happened. God dang it.
That's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword, man. It must have sucked getting all those
It's
emails
like
about
KOM. It's like, this is awesome. I
Yeah.
had page after page of KOMs.
How did they take the one from my driveway?
God dang it.
Who's been in my driveway?
Man,
everybody,
I want to
even
look
back
up and
then-
see how many you still have.
He had a bunch. For a
I
long
don't
time.
know how many I have. I don't know. Maybe 8, 9 still.
Let's take them.
And you look at the dates, though. There's some that
Yeah,
I think
like,
are
like
2012.
Or early, yeah,
I
2011.
do think in some senses Strava should actually get to the point where you can still access your data, but after like 3-4 years, the KOM should almost reset.
I don't know about that.
I don't agree.
You know what I mean?
I think the leaderboard is what it is, and it's something to measure. I think it's good for cycling. I think people get into it. they can compare what like the names in their area or whatever, or even if you go to down in Northern California, it wouldn't be a good idea now, but there's a lot of pros used to train in there.
Yeah.
And so KOMs and stuff, that you can kind of measure yourself. Like, God, I poured myself up. What, I'm 2 minutes slower than so-and-so? I mean, I think that's a good, I think it's a good thing.
I do like that about Ruby. Right, on Ruby.
Yeah.
They have Strava sections online in Ruby. And I just watch. They have a bot that shows you the pacer, and I'm just like, oh, there he's gone. Holy shit!
That was Wout.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
that was Wout. Yeah, it's just they fly out.
Did you guys know that Wout is 6'3"?
Yeah,
I didn't know he was that tall.
Nice.
We've talked about this. You have no reason to be so slow.
6'3", and he rides a 56.
Okay, that's what I didn't know. That's where you're
Is
going.
it 56? I thought it was a 58.
56.
Oh wow! See, this is this. I
But
hit a hard. The problem with
Did I just
manufactured bikes.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
as a custom, because you look at you as a fitter, you look at the seat posts and stems and all their position is just like.
Oh, he's got
crazy.
this like extended seat post because he's so high on this thing, and then he's got like a 130 stem on it or 140.
It's.
I've seen a 170.
You're 6'4". Yeah.
Yeah,
He rides a
that's
61.
He rides
61.
61. Yeah.
That's 2 sizes bigger. Like
Yeah.
a 58, I could be like, okay.
You know
I
what
get
I
it.
have in common with Wout?
What?
All right, 58. That's it.
But
He
he
rides
rides
a
a 56.
Shit. Never mind.
I ride a 56.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do.
David has that in common. No way.
Yes,
How long
that's
is
what
your
I-
stem?
right?
120.
That's a personal.
He's got
I'm-
it way out there.
That's
I'm
a personal
bendy.
question.
Yeah, that's a personal question,
How long
please.
is your stem?
How long is stem?
Depends.
How much seat posts do you have out?
Depends on how much you drink.
Oh my gosh.
That's. I don't know why that joke popped into my head. 2 guys are peeing off the bridge. One guy goes, "Man, this water's cold." And the other guy says, "Deep too." Anyway, on another internal note, the calendars are starting to be released, which is a beautiful thing to happen, as I mentioned earlier. But apparently, I'm on 2024 time, and we are picking and choosing our seasonal events. And I want to kind of touch base on this a little bit, but I don't want to get too, internal and personal, and because we're global. For sure. But not necessarily focus on those things. But what events, gentlemen, are you most excited for in 2025? If you had to pick like 1 or 2, what were the ones you'd be just like, oh yeah, this one I'm really jazzed for? I mean, Jax, you want to take that?
Sure. I mean, I'm pretty excited for like the local series of
Keeping it around
crits.
here, huh? Okay.
Yeah. I just know what I have time for.
Okay.
BWR.
Yeah.
And probably Freda.
Oh, you're a gravel boy. Okay.
I think those are like what I'm most excited for, because the other ones I've done.
Okay.
And I've done a Freda, but it's I have better plans for it this year.
not.
A functioning bike.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Paul, what are you excited for?
Grab your
Oh yeah, there it is.
Turtle.
I am too.
I put in the time off.
Yeah.
I know I'm getting roped into it.
Wah, wah, wah. You're going. Stop complaining.
Quit whining. We don't want to hear it.
David, what are you excited for?
I'm really excited for the Whiskey 50 again.
Okay.
And then I think RC3 will be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely that's
Just the road race, though. I'm going to be honest. The crit's kind of boring and the time trial sucks.
I got big ideas
Big ideas.
big.
for you two.
Yeah.
Oh,
we go.
love
Ooh.
that.
Yeah.
I was bummed to find out that I can't do the RC3 crit again.
You should quit your job.
I should.
Don't ask me to do any,
Announcing?
announcing.
Somebody's going to have to.
No, we're gonna.
Okay. But
We're
you
really
guys do
good
the
at it.
same
Fired
race.
last
Somebody's got to
Yeah.
announce the race you guys race.
Yeah, that's where
What
I got
did we do
fired.
last year?
Well, it
I
was
did,
Paul. And
but I
then-
got fired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
I think Mike Surratt didn't like the way I was doing it. There's a preem coming. Okay, hey guys, preem. That's why I was doing that. You didn't say how much. Oh.
They're gone. $10.
You guys come back.
Come back.
Turn it back.
Yeah, bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, I don't. That makes sense because I don't remember anybody talking about preems at all.
Yeah.
That was me.
Probably because you were just whispering, "Got a preem, come on, guys."
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this.
Yeah.
And I found out that for Tour de Bloom that I have a production that weekend, that Thursday and Friday. So what I'm going to end up having to do is miss the Friday stage. Thank God it's an Omnium.
Mm-hmm.
And Ace replied to me and told me that you can miss a stage and still do the rest of them. But I'm going to have to leave Spokane at like 9:30 at night and just haul ass.
We'll have a place
It's
for
a
you.
time trial the next day. In the
No,
morning,
not
right?
for me. It's
Yes,
road
it is.
race on Saturday, isn't it? Oh,
You
it's TT in the morning
TT.
and road
And
race in
then
the
crit in
afternoon.
the afternoon.
And crit
And
in
then
the
it's a
afternoon.
road race
TT
Sunday.
crit. Oh, okay.
So you
okay.
don't even really have to
And
worry about the
you'll
time
love this.
trial.
Is it Merckx?
Do we have a?
It is Merckx because it's a mass start
Yeah.
uphill, 4 miles.
TT is
So
a
maybe
mass
you
start.
just skip
Mass
that.
start uphill
Skip
TT.
that. Yeah.
Maybe you just
sleep
skip
in a little
You
bit.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't miss 2. You
Yeah.
can miss 1.
Do we?
Oh, really?
I just threw that out there. I just want to see if shit his pants.
I know.
I just pooped a little bit.
Do we
I
have
think
a?
it touched
do we have a
cotton.
time cut?
No.
Thank God.
No. No time cut.
You guys are normal
Yeah.
ones.
I just wanted to
twos,
make sure because we're just 2s, 3s.
Yeah.
But because some of those road races are going to get bad.
They suck.
How many?
You
how many?
guys will like the first road race.
Go to hell.
It's like
No.
Yes,
I
it
did
is.
it. No.
I know it is. It is Palouse. It is
Yeah,
open,
it-
wide winds, power climbs.
My point.
Everything. That's awesome.
Wins. It sucks.
Yeah, it is windy there.
It can be one of the most gruesome races out
If you
there.
race stupid, you
it's-
have to be on point the whole time.
the whole time.
Yeah.
If you let off at one point,
Yeah, you're done.
you're done.
If you
Like,
lose
and
contact,
it's like,
you're done.
isn't it 60 to 90 somewhere in there? It's like
That's the first road race.
Water.
that's
Yeah,
the
water.
first
Oh.
one.
Yeah, you get to miss that one.
Well, the one we're doing has a massive beast of a climb at the end.
No,
Yeah,
it's not that bad. It's like 500 feet, but it's just that it's steep.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know what? At that
It's a
point,
gradual climb for about 1 kilometer, and then it pitches up
Yeah.
towards.
Oh, okay. It's all right. I was gonna do it. I'm
gonna do it.
I'm gonna.
It'll
I'm
be
gonna
so
do it.
fun.
And
We'll be
the
bonded.
exciting part when
Yeah.
Nancy
Skull get
has
tattoos.
a white tiger, we can stay at.
No,
They
we're not.
do?
Yes.
Nice.
Wow.
no.
I'm not going to stay there.
I'll
but
be
that's
wherever
great.
Jackson's at. Yep.
I asked my wife about
Yes.
it the other day, and she immediately said, right out of the gate, she said, "Find an RV place. Find a place to park the RV."
We're all sleeping in the RV.
No.
All of us.
No.
That sounds
I think
great.
we should do Airbnb
I
or
agree with that.
VRBO,
That'd be
Oh, if
good.
you guys did that,
That'd be a
I
fun
would,
idea,
I would
actually.
chip in on
Yeah.
that.
Wait.
Yeah.
Why would we talk about doing anything
which
else?
means we better get on it right away.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm getting excited now.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen
I thought
to
that's
the
what
energy.
we were doing.
I'm losing control of the show. You guys are getting all giddy.
I'm not kidding.
See,
What a-
now you know why. That's
Yeah,
the
you
one I'm
are.
marking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
asking which one you're getting you excited for. That's the one.
Anybody else? Any other events other than TDB that you guys are excited about?
What are you excited for, David?
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Oh, did you already
Whiskey,
say
yeah.
yours?
Yeah, whiskey
That's
and
my bad.
RC3, and then Wednesday night mountain bike series, and the 24-hour mountain bike race, and
Thursday
Freeride,
nights.
and Thursday
The
night.
24-hour mountain bike race. I know somebody's putting that on.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the best races of the year.
Yeah. Oh, that bless your heart.
It's genuinely one of my favorite races of the year. It sucks so bad, but I always love
I
it.
hate it with everything
Yeah.
I am.
Why do you hate it?
He's doing it this year.
Been wronged.
Are you
too
doing
many
it?
He told me he'd do it
Wow.
this year. Yeah, he got this bike and he like talks about how he likes the mountain bike, and I was like, prove it
How big
for
is the team?
24 hours.
Solo?
No.
We don't know yet.
No.
Looking for
Either the Tailwind Group is putting together a team.
24 hours of Riverside.com. For those of you who are curious about this, I should plug it because I
You
am the
should.
promoter of this race.
And it's a cool event.
It's a lot of
Don't
fun.
listen to my opinion on this.
Yeah. Your entry fee gets camping, it gets food. We have food trucks. We have all kinds of stuff. It's a party.
It's a lot of people.
maybe just like
it's a lot of fun.
3-man team, just a Packfiller team. Jackson Salmon, sponsored by the show.
Do you do threes? I can't remember if we do threes.
There's a four
I think
man.
it's 4 and under.
So
Oh,
four and
wow,
under.
look at that. Paul's in.
I'd
Paul's
participate.
in. Choice.
I'd participate. I got to talk for a while, but I'd participate.
I'd let you.
If I
bail
get
for
roped
laughs.
into a 3-man
just
team,
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't do that to me.
There we
You're
go.
such a
Come on.
Now,
You didn't do that.
Jack will also be there. Jack is racing solo.
Yeah, I
For
heard
what
about that.
Sweet.
of
Yeah, I
the
heard
year, Jack is racing solo.
Oh, that's stupid.
He must have hit his head.
I think so. Paint fumes or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be something.
What's your big? Nah, that's. How is your training changed for 2025? What are you guys incorporating in or not incorporating in? Sam, you sound like you're going just full. Like I'm waiting for you to announce that you've gone.
I've retired.
No, you that you're like like the ex-Euro who's just gone gravel.
His hoods. You should see his hoods now.
Yeah,
Are they
bro.
in?
Bro.
No, you gotta have the hands cupped. It's like
Oh, yeah.
that's how our hands, bro.
That's how his hands are now. Yeah, on his road bike.
I'm not gonna lie. It is true in that I have more of a focus on the dirt side of things than road side of things this year because I've done so many years of the road. I'm going to do all of the road. It's just that it's not like
They're not your.
I'm not
targets.
like it's not like I want to do really well at this. It's like I will be there, I will participate, and I'll race hard. But my stuff is that I want to I have better ambitions of placing higher up for gravel races.
Okay.
It's
But-
lower hanging fruit.
Lower hanging fruit, grand fondos that I can turn into races. Yeah, where there's 200 racers and about 20 of us are racing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My strategy.
But I'm like, I get 25th, and I'm like, yeah, I got top 25
Yeah, I did.
out of 200.
I am so planning. That's perfect strategy. I'm not stopping for Kirkland Trail Mix.
Exactly.
I'll show you bastards.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I mean,
Go ahead and eat your cookies, fuckers. I'm gonna win.
But back to your original question, I do this year. I have been doing consistently 2 days a week of lifting and core strengthening. I am significantly stronger than I was last year, so I'm excited for that. And it is going to be a really fun spring. I mean, I have a pretty full calendar. I should make it into May ripping.
Yeah. So I guess my thing is after falsifying a calendar, I'm bitter over that, David. I just want you to know that I put a lot of work into that.
I'd leave it to Danielle to find any sort of typo or error.
Yep. Okay. Tell me 2025 isn't looking pretty
Amazing.
damn good. Yes. Do you guys remember in the history of the show how we were talking about the drought, how we were talking about the phasing out of especially road cycling? We've got some good, and I would love to know what other people have in their regions. We've got some good events on this calendar. And I haven't even started talking about the EPO, Everett Performance Omnium. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen the dates of that yet.
I'm excited for that too.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, and I'm going to just stray a little bit from it, but have you also noticed that I think it's Dirt Abides, right?
Yeah.
Dirt Abides. They're doing
Mountain bike
where
series.
it's a Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's going to come back. I think we're going to find ourselves where we're people are putting together the, EPO.
Yeah.
And they're making a weekend of it because that's the hard part is that when it's a regional race, I don't want to go to 6 hours away for
a crit. Absolutely.
But I will do it for 2.
Yeah. That's the thing about Bend with Cascade. If they added one more race,
Yep.
I'm in.
Run it back in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Same thing backwards.
Or a circuit race or something like that. Even a bumfucked Egypt out in the middle of nowhere, on the airport, on the runway or something like that. I don't give a shit. But, I love that weekend thing. And it gives me justification to talk to my better half to say, hey, we're going. Are you cool going for this weekend? She's like, hell yeah. I'd love to see Bend for the weekend and goof
We can
around.
go out, have a drinking contest in between races,
Absolutely.
you and I.
Yeah.
I'll kick your
David will
ass.
call you a little bitch.
I'll kick your ass at yet
and that-
another thing.
Yeah.
See, we talk a lot about how crit racing is very good for the American sport of cycling, and it's also really great too because you mentioned your better half, but the family can also experience.
Your mama.
Sure. That I guess that
technically.
I
Shit.
guess so if we're
Don't be weird
getting
about
technical.
it. No, don't be weird about it.
Yeah, come on. But the family can also experience the town because we're racing for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, it's not 4 hours out in the middle of, no offense to the places we race, but in shithole towns.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just a better
You
weekend.
stole that line from Trump. Shithole.
No way. I've been hearing shithole way before him.
And at no point was he playing the accordion while he was doing it.
Yeah.
Shithole
He stole it
towns.
from me.
These shithole towns.
It gives you a reason to commit to like spending some time. Like when we went for Missoula.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Missoula? Where were we at?
Yeah,
Where was
the
it? White
best
Tiger,
weekend
Missoula.
we've had.
Yeah, and we like
That was.
committed to
White Tiger.
a night out. We all had a night out and a meal and like hung out. And there was, if you go for one race, everybody's trying to get back.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah.
just gonna spend the night just because.
We're going to bail, dude.
Yeah,
we're
we're
out
going
of here.
home.
Yeah.
We got our butts kicked. We're going home.
Yeah.
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 Go
We
home.
got our butts kicked. And
We
didn't
got
go
our
home.
butts kicked.
Yeah, but then we commiserated about it together.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
I can't
That's
believe
going to be a common theme.
I can't believe
Yeah, it will
we
be.
drank the night before the road race.
Why would you not?
Well, how many did
This
you
is the
have,
way.
fucker?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way.
This is the way.
Yeah.
It's like when we did a gravel race last year with a friend and he's new to racing and we go out and he's like, well, what do we do now? We get old fashions. This is the way.
We drink whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. So I'm excited about this year is what I'm saying, and I don't mean just across just all road and gravel and mountain. I mean each discipline is getting a pretty good calendar this year, and I'm happy to see that. And I the people putting on these events, thank you. And for those of you in this region or in another region and you see these events, fucking go. Go. Even if they're newbies who don't know what they're doing and the event is a train wreck, you got to support them or they're not going to learn and they're not going to get any better and we're not going to have any more events. We're just going to keep going down the shithole because, since the USA Cycling made it optional to put on races, we're hurting, and I don't know. I hope everybody's region is looking as good as ours is because, man, it's great.
My prediction on that is that I think that the Zwift era has caught up to us, and I think there's a lot more riders that are riding, and they want
True.
events to do stuff.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a rough period in which like those people have to learn how to properly race.
Sure.
But I do think that I'm hopeful that it's coming back.
Yeah.
Like I think that there's more people entering the field because of online stuff. That's
So you're saying I shouldn't yell at them when they cut me off?
Oh no! Yell at them loudly
And quit the race and
Yeah.
go stomping back to my
Maybe
car.
don't do that. Yeah, just yell at them. Yeah, that's what I do.
But with my inside voice?
No outside voice.
You don't know my outside voice.
I heard it
I know.
in Spokane.
I think people-
when you were in Airway Heights.
So did I was going to say. I think people heard it within the county lines. Great disturbance in the force. Somebody just yelled "fuck" at the top of their lungs, and my window
Registered
shut.
at the Richter
Yeah.
scale.
Okay. Oh my God, we're flying, gentlemen. Let's look at our headlines tonight with a mention from our friends at Time Bicycles. We're proud to be an actual seller/dealer of Time bikes. Thinking about upgrading? Now is the time. So I did that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and now for this week's What the Hell is the UCI Thinking category. Keep those hands on the bars, boys and girls, says the UCI to any riders tempted to celebrate. Bro.
I thought you were
Bro.
talking to me. I was
Bro.
like, okay.
Bro.
Yeah, you gotta have them broing in, bro. It says the UCI riders attempted to celebrate a successful lead out. It has been common for teammates of a winner to celebrate with their hands off the bars and chasing bunch. However, from January 1st, 2025 onward, this could result in a fine of 500, I'm guessing, euros.
Swiss francs.
Yeah, or Swiss francs. And relegation to last place in the group. Riders could also be given a yellow card. When did we adapt this yellow card bullshit?
What?
In the event of multiple offenses, and it could lead to a suspension from 7 to 30 days. In a revision of the UCI, quote, table race incidents relating to road events, the UCI added a new entry, section 5.2, that prohibits rider decelerating during a sprint and endangering other riders, knowingly staying within the line of other riders celebrating in the bunch, talking on the radio, or taking hands off the handlebars while in the bunch, is how they quoted it. So initial thoughts on the no showing happiness rule, which I'm calling it, a change to the UCI. You cannot celebrate a teammate's victory.
Have we seen crashes specifically related to this?
I would love to know the statistics
I
of
can't
that.
recall.
These are
I watch a lot of bike races. I don't think I've ever seen that.
These are professional bike riders.
I've seen it get close where somebody's like that and somebody has their head down and has to make a move. But same thing happens if you're doing a lead out and you are out of gas, you're decelerating.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they don't want you to take your hands off your bar, but you're still dropping back. So what does it matter?
What does it matter? Because
Yeah.
like the people behind you, it's not like they're like taking their hands off the bar and going woof, like
Yeah.
way off to the left or right, right? Like they
Yeah.
just continue in the line.
Well, and this is also one of those situations too where sprinters are turned on to the highest degree. They know where everything is at that moment, so it's not like they're going to run into a person who is celebrating their teammate winning.
And if they're not in top 10, how many people do you see like, back there like pushing people through to get like, they don't care.
They're still
If they're not-
sprinting, but
but they're not like if you're top 10, you're competing for it. Most of those guys celebrating come in like 30th.
Yeah.
It's a millisecond after because so many people cross, but still,
Yeah.
it's not a danger zone.
I will say that if you just hear it and you know enough about bike racing, it doesn't sound that unreasonable. Like, it does sound dangerous to have somebody take their hands off in a bunch sprint and sit up. Like
Winner does it every time.
Well, yeah,
Cross the line,
that generates photos and money and all that. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying it doesn't sound unreasonable. It doesn't sound like it's actually going to have much of an impact, right? Like, I don't think it's going to change much. It sounds to me like they are having all these discussions about rider safety, and they made some silly rule to like look like they're doing something, but it's really not going to have an impact. on
Rules already
anybody.
been violated.
Oh, really?
I don't think any suspensions were handed out. But in the Australian National Championships this weekend, Luke Plapp celebrated his teammate Luke Durbridge's victory. They were both off the front. I know, so maybe it doesn't count now because he was behind him with his hands in the air, and his teammate was ahead of him winning.
I think it's
It was not a field
situation.
print. Yeah, it's just field
I
sprint.
think so.
So
That if you interfere or somebody's overtaking.
I guess my other thing is what a weird rule to come about when rider safety is such a hot button topic that this is the one they decided the hill they decided to stand upon.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is that like it's just a show. It doesn't seem like with the discussions we've had around all the other things, like gearing and all. They just kind of picked something to like. Oh, might as well just like do this little rule and maybe it'll look like we're actually doing something, but really, let's not change anything at all.
Or what if I'm the guy who falsely puts his hands in the air too early and gets beaten? Have I violated the rule?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have to pay $500 after getting snaked at the line.
Yeah, exactly.
That hurts.
You are living in a pile of shame right now, and they're like $500.
$500, you idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're not celebrating your teammate.
Well, what if your teammate beats you at the line? See,
then
I'm researching this. I have
lot of
hypothetical
dimensions to this
situations
rule.
for everything.
It seems
I
like
think
a
it's
dumb rule.
I think it's ridiculous. Okay, next story. Curse of the Gold. Olympic champion Remco Evenepoel has suffered another setback in his ongoing recovery from injury after revealing that nerve damage in his shoulder could force him to postpone his return to on-the-bike training. After being named Sportsman of the Year 4th time in his career, third most among male athletes behind Eddie Merckx and Stefan Everts, Evenepoel shed light on his nerve issue, which and I'm quoting him, causes a dead feeling in his shoulder. 24-year-old has been fully off the bike for almost 6 weeks now after being doored by a driver in training December 3rd and fracturing his rib, hand, and shoulder blade along with dislocating his collarbone, which has caused the prolonged problem. First off, heal quickly, man. My first thing I want to ask is name another sport where the regular occurrence of average people damaging sporting careers of the top athletes in the world. Soccer players have a practice field. Athletes have stadiums. Runners even have a track. Yes, we have the outdoor runners and things like that. Name another sport where where $1 million athletes are out there bouncing around cars.
It's nothing.
It's part of the glory of our sport is that you do it like with the public, right?
Glory?
We talk about
Right,
this
that's
all
cool,
the time that you can sit on the side of a mountain and cheer on
It's
your
very
athletes
accessible.
for free and be 2 feet from them. That's
Yeah.
like one of the wonderful things, but unfortunately,
It comes at a cost.
yeah.
I mean, it just almost seems bizarre though to me that you've got multi-million-dollar athletes, and you know, I don't know if Remco had a follow car behind him at the time, you know, or anything like that, or you know, you'd almost think there'd be some with how much money you've got on these athletes that you'd have a lead car and a follow car every ride they went on. You know, when Tade goes for a bike ride, I'd be just like, holy shit, can we wrap him in bubble wrap?
We're getting to that point, I bet. And I bet you Tade probably has something very similar to that.
Yeah, at least a moped.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He has riding buddies. He's in Monaco and rides with your favorite, Bling.
Oh, yeah, Michael Matthews. Yeah, absolutely. So just kind of making it on a personal level, talk to me about a time that a persistent injury caused or took time away from the sport you love. Is there anything that kind of hit you and took you away from the sport, and what did that do to you mentally?
I mean, I used to have a reoccurring knee issue in my right knee until I met the wonderful person sitting next to me. Yeah, it took me away for a little while. Like my freshman year of college, I remember trying to go out for a ride, and I came back and my knee was hurting, and it's a little bit depressing is a word that comes to mind, because you can't just do the thing that you really enjoy doing.
Yeah,
because your body doesn't want to cooperate with that, and that's a really, I'll use it again, depressing feeling.
Yeah, I've had moments like that where things have taken me away. I mean, a lot of them, you know, not just the heart thing, but you know, I've had other times. You know, I can remember a time when a rash took me away from riding and stuff like that.
You had herpes, didn't you?
No.
Syphilis?
We don't need
Vesicular on your testicles?
I can't believe I'm going to say yes, but yeah, it was something. Yeah, and there was, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and so I'm just like, I gotta quit riding, and it sucked. And so you'd go away from riding, and you'd think, okay, I'm good enough to get back at it, and then it comes back, and it gets worse again. Those persistent knee injuries, the tendonitis, saddle sores suck. Yeah. And you know, especially when you put so much time and effort into something like this, and then it's taken away from you. So, I mean, if you spend an entire winter and an entire spring building fitness, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got to take 4 weeks off the bike, it makes me crazy. I'm assuming it does everybody else here. And I don't want to go play golf, for Christ's sake, you know, and I don't want to pick up another sport because this is my sport. It's horrible to have to deal with that kind of stuff.
Well, cycling is different. To me, there's... because I used to play a lot of basketball. When you sprain an ankle, you're pretty much out of it. If you sprain an ankle, you could still ride a bike.
Yeah.
And there's just a few things in that, and the few things that stopped me is when I tore my hand. Well, it didn't stop me because I kept riding. But when I tore my hamstring, and the other one was when I crashed and broke my collarbone and pulled it out of the AC joint.
Yeah.
And that was then there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, AC joints are pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, it's still right up here. I never got reattached.
Sorry, I got a little Bo Peep over here.
I couldn't see you. I was feeling like we were blocked out.
The bolt.
It won't tighten anymore, and I couldn't see Pat.
Oh,
I think it will.
Thanks for killing the whole flow of the show, David.
Sorry.
But that, I mean, it's brutal, and I hate that. And okay, so. And we've also, you know, talked about training and riding sick. We talked about the rule of in the head, go ahead, in the chest, better rest. I came up with that.
Really?
I did while I was typing shit out today.
Wait, but based off of that one time that
Yeah.
Okay, but that was way better than I
In the
said.
head, go ahead, in the chest, better rest.
That's really good.
I want $1 every time somebody.
I'm making that a dot phrase.
I'll give you
Really?
a penny, not $1.
Okay.
Don't be ridiculous.
5 cents.
2
I'm
pennies.
paying for beer.
Okay, 5 cents.
Okay.
That's really good. Yeah.
But who's pushed it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How about this? Who's ever gotten to the point where you've actually gotten sick on a ride or in a race? And when I say gotten sick, you know the people who, like, as an announcer of a sporting event, I see so many people come across the line and puke. And I'm so glad it's not that cyclists finish at a fairly good rate of speed, because I do enough bashing of triathletes on this show enough as it is, but most of the time it's triathletes. They come across and they're just like, and they puke. It's like they walk towards me like, oh, I'm gonna puke by the announcer's table. I'm just like, Jesus,
that guy.
Tap dancing, Christ, why? Have you guys ever puked in an event?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because of sickness, or because of fueling, or just because you're
Going
weird?
way too hard.
Yeah.
Really?
And prior fueling.
Okay.
So prior event fueling.
Maybe I didn't fuel well, but just like, poor fueling throughout probably. I don't know. And just like, getting my heart rate up way too high. And then
I have never puked from my heart rate too high.
I
Me
have
neither.
afterwards.
There's
Really?
famous stories.
Yeah, you did after BWR. That was
I did.
ugly.
Oh, I kind of forgot about that.
That was
honestly,
bad.
that was a blackout type of moment.
Yeah, we forget about that.
Yeah, that was bad. I've never been in such a bad place. That, and then I did after a Wednesday night mountain bike race, and that was the year that I won the series.
Oh.
Because I was going way too hard.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing for me.
Yeah. Really? Paul, have you ever puked?
No, but in a sprint that I won, the guy next to me, we went pretty hard. We went long. And he ended up puking as soon as we crossed the line.
That's crazy. On the bike?
On the bike.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
right when
just
it
like-
crossed, he just...
He did.
Yeah, he
There's-
did, not me.
That's so fucking
There's been
wrong.
How do you
time
control
trials that I've been like, back in collegiate days that we would be time trialing, and I would literally puke in the middle of this time trial and keep going.
I've ridden myself.
That's crazy.
I've ridden myself into tunnel vision.
Yeah.
I've had, I've been to the verge of passing out. I have never had the reason to even come close to vomiting.
You're just
David, is
not-
this a health thing, or
Well,
is
you're
it
just not a puker, Like it's,
Not a puker.
You're puke free since '93, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
puke free since '93? I'm going to use that one too.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
That'll be 5
Oh,
pennies.
Was
that
it
is
83,
a Seinfeld.
83,
Yeah.
I think was the last time he puked.
I don't. Yeah.
Until he had the black and
I was
white
born
cookie.
in '93, so
What do you equate to somebody who pukes all the time? I mean, and I also see it at like high school cross country kids that just come across line. They always collapse all over the fucking place as soon as the race is over. So
It's
like
probably
cross country skiers and cross country runners just like, oh God, I'm so tired. Ah.
Yeah.
You're like, you guys got to move. Other people want to finish.
Yeah.
It's shit.
finish
Yeah,
line.
but that's a kind of a new thing too. When you look at like Vanderpool was notorious for crossing the line and then like pulling right over and collapsing
Yeah.
and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it a lot. I don't really ever recall like back in the day I ever saw anybody
You
sit
think it's
down,
an
but it's a
attention
new thing.
You think it's an attention
I
thing?
think
I
of
think they
it.
know how to push themselves. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I
think that.
I'm just a person that wouldn't let anybody see me collapse on the floor. I'd be
Yeah.
like hiding and then collapse. I don't want anybody to see.
Yeah.
Isn't the essence of being a pro athlete getting a shitload of attention?
That is true.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
That is
He
true.
did. He was physical with the teens outside for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that the poor triathlon woman who shot herself, and she was like, keep the camera up because I crapped myself.
That was such a funny
Yeah.
video.
Sam doesn't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking
Even
about?
I've seen this.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like,
she's
keep the
running
camera
along.
up because I shit myself.
Yeah, but you look. There's nothing there.
I've
You
seen.
looked. Yeah, you slow down the camera. Of
I've
course.
seen a lot of
Oh, of course,
athletes.
you look.
I've seen a lot of athletes in those mega events like that come with brown stuff, and it ain't dirt coming down their legs.
Crazy.
I would quit the event the immediate moment that the turtle head poked and touched lycra. I'm like, I'm out.
Greg LeMond
Oh.
raced and had diarrhea and finished and raced, and he was shitting himself the whole time.
That's wild.
He did
That's
compete.
Tom
There's a
Dumoulin.
story about that.
But at least Tom Dumoulin
Yeah, he dropped trout.
dropped trout. Yeah.
But also, there's a funny story of a guy used to race with Scott McSpadden,
Yeah.
and he was at Oklahoma 69. I remember they had the stage race. I knew you guys would like that.
Yeah.
But there's a guy that was in. I don't know if he's in the leader's
Ain't
jersey or
nothing
in there.
finer than the old 69er.
But he said he could see. Well, the guy's like pumping up the hill. The diarrhea was coming out of
That
his
is
shorts and down his legs,
unbelievable.
and it stunk so bad he kept trying to get around him. But the guy was just relentless.
So you're stuck behind.
That was even. Yeah.
That's what I would do if I had diarrhea.
crazy.
I would just
Yeah.
die on the front. So everybody, and then they'd just be like, okay, well, I guess I'm not getting by him, and this guy's shitting his brains, and I can't get by him. I quit.
Is that what it takes?
Well, yeah, his was probably heat exhaustion because it was very hot.
Oh,
And
wow.
It was the middle of summer, so I think.
Oh my
If
God.
I poop, I'm out. If somebody
That's
poops
it.
in front of me,
I'm
also out.
Yeah.
If I can smell
I
the
don't want
poop
the
in the
splatter.
pack,
I'm out.
I'm gonna be done.
Jackson's
That's
like, I
crazy.
smell poop on a
I'm
daily
attacking.
basis.
I'm getting away. I'm going to attack.
How are you a preschool teacher? You've got to deal with poop.
You gag though
Okay.
a lot.
And
But
then,
like,
and
he
then
also
I'm
doesn't
out.
want to deal with it
Yeah.
outside of that, you
And he-
know?
Yeah, that's my career. That's not my
Yeah,
passion.
yeah.
Well, no, okay, it is.
He
It
has
is.
to
It
do
is.
the teaching. He wants to do the cycling.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's fair.
Never
I
the
appreciate
two
you putting
shall
it that
mix.
way. I appreciate
Never
you.
the two shall mix.
Yeah.
Like Taco Bell and gin.
That's good to know. I haven't ever done it. and
I
I'm
don't
gonna
either, but
avoid
it just sounds like a horrible mixture.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid it.
that
I could
whole
do it.
Juniper and beans.
Yeah.
Let's test this.
Hello.
Taco Bell and Gin Mile.
Dan wants you to know that she does appreciate your calendar.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah,
She made fun of it.
messaged
She
us.
ridiculed
Did she
it,
message
and I'm
us?
hurt.
Yeah. No,
I'm hurt.
she appreciates
She
you.
not come over.
She
for mac and
appreciates
cheese.
you. Unlike me.
Time to get to our segment brought to you by our friends at Colorado Cyclists. We highly encourage you to shop the LBS, but there are times when it isn't in or it isn't local. So that's where competitive cycling comes into the rescue. Use our link as it supports the show. Please. Segments for tonight. I know we got a couple things like that, and we wanted to go with some. I actually have Mr. Fit Tips as starting first. Yes. So we gotta hit his little jingle. Fit Tips with Bike Fit Sam from Ambassador Cycling. Be sure and check out ambassadorcycling.com. Get it right, people. Indoor riding issues part 2. We had one last time talking about necks and backs and things like that. And then I wanted this one was really interesting to talk about climbing simulators.
Mm-hmm.
The you put your fork into it, it raises the forks up and things like that. The need for it, and if I don't have one, how can I compensate for the fact that, is it really that critical to get those climbing muscles? And, so anyway, I don't want to steal from your thunder,
Yeah.
but talk to me about those climbing simulators. And is it just video game bullshit or is it legit?
I think it is legit. I do think that it is also a very valuable thing to add to your indoor training, especially if you're going to be doing a longer ride. Personally, I only ride for an hour, hard stop. Like, not going to do more than that. And I think that if you're going to do an hour ride, you could get by with just like plain Jane trainer, go do your ride, right?
Yeah.
It's going to keep the legs moving till spring. But if you're going to do longer rides, it is really good to get that incline so that, the way that it rotates the bike and it uses different muscle groups,
Okay.
it is very valuable to have, that for a prolonged period. It would also make it just simply more entertaining, like as opposed to just sitting on a bike. And I know, talk about like getting down low and, working. Well, it's the same principle as that. Like you're in a different position and working on your climbing muscles, right? And you can work on your time trial. Like, I think that it is a very valuable thing. It does cost a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the long run, it depends on your goals.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're searching for.
Exactly. And then I also think like from a fit standpoint, it is a very valuable thing to add because we're not just stationary in one position, right? We're moving up, down, all that. And it's going to make it so that you're not just sitting on one part of the saddle the entire time. So saddle sores will be less likely, so on and so forth.
And quit saying that these rocker panels and shit like that work. There is still no way to have a true out of the saddle experience on a stationary bike. It just sucks ass.
It does. And that's why, like, I don't know.
It rocks forward and backward. Well, my bike doesn't. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's all going forward. And, I'm sorry. It just drives me crazy.
I totally agree with that. And I think that personally, if I'm going to do, like, if I need to do longer activity, I'm going to go ski, like cross-country ski for a few hours.
Okay.
But.
All right. Okay, fine. David?
Who was that?
Dealing with Ask Dr. David tonight is the thing. Listen, this is just silly.
So great.
You need this on your phone every time you walk into someplace.
I was just going to say that would make me so stoked to actually...
It
no.
would.
It
It should be your
No,
ringtone.
I'm talking about going into every room.
Yeah,
That would
every
be like
room.
signal me that the patient's ready or something.
It's like when you walk into a store, it has a ding ding. That's yours.
Yeah. It's your own chime. It's your walk-up song.
I like it. Yeah.
This one was interesting. Dealing with pain. We talked about. I think you mentioned earlier about ibuprofen being, take it, but be careful with it and things like that. And first of all, kind of reiterate that issue. But a lot of us, and I'm not just saying me, have kind of day-to-day aches and pains and things like that. And there are a lot of things out there that people want to, use to help recover, to help with my neck hurts, but I want to go for a ride, or dealing with the everyday aches and pains. What do you suggest for that type of thing, and what meds work for what pain?
Yeah. So reiterating from the conversation about like ibuprofen, in particular, the way that it affects blood flow through your kidneys puts you at it makes your kidneys more susceptible to dehydration. So if you're going on a bike ride and you've taken ibuprofen and you're not hydrating and you get dehydrated, you're more likely to have negative side effects or consequences in the kidney because of that. So in general, when we had that conversation, the moral of the story was probably shouldn't use ibuprofen before rides for aches and pains.
Or daily? I mean, how about the people who are taking it daily?
Yeah, I mean, if you're using daily ibuprofen, in general, it's not recommended that people take ibuprofen every single day. If you're using it every single day, there's probably something else we need to address. But if you're using a little bit every single day with a lot of water, it's not the end of the world, especially when you're young and you have otherwise good kidneys. When folks have any evidence of kidney injury, it's one of the first things I talk to them about is, hey, no more ibuprofen. There's really no safe amount for you anymore if you have any evidence of kidney disease. But in general, with healthy young athletes, a little bit here and there is not going to hurt you. Tylenol is usually always safe, metabolized through the liver, so you're not really having to worry about kidney. Well, yeah, for most people.
You already have cirrhosis.
Yeah. Not this group.
But
I'm talking to the audience. Yeah, not this group.
So much for that one.
So Tylenol is usually pretty safe. Generally less effective at actually treating pain. If you're talking about what's causing the pain, if it's muscle aches and pains, ibuprofen's a little bit more effective. But really, I would say that your goal should be not to use anything, especially if it's related to your training. I think the idea that you're not going to have any pain after a hard workout is something people would need to combat with. You need to realize that you worked your body hard. Some aches and pains are acceptable and normal, and as long as it goes away with rest, it'd be better just not do anything to let your body take care of it. If you're having prolonged aches and pains in certain joints or whatever, unfortunate plug for one of the assholes at the bar that you might need to look into what's causing the pain on your bike ride. You should feel tired in the muscles afterwards.
Jackson spends a long day bent over picking up kids. Why are you being so bitchy?
Yeah. Why are you picking on Jackson?
Yeah.
So one of the assholes at the bar, there's only two to pick from. Jackson is not one of them.
Oh,
it's Pat.
And they sit across
Pat
from
the
each
bike
other.
fitter.
Yeah.
It's Pat.
Yeah, Pat the bike fitter over here is the asshole.
I have a plumb bob.
That sounds like you shouldn't verbalize that out loud.
Yes. Let's hit the B a little bit harder, though, when you say it.
Anyways, back to the professional.
So,
Serious medical advice?
Serious medical advice here. Over-the-counter anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen are fine intermittently, but if you're having prolonged pain, you really should get to the bottom of it. Either talk to your doctor about what it is, whether it's musculoskeletal or whatever, or talk to your PT. Figure out how you should be able to finish a ride with muscle soreness, maybe a little bit of aches and pains when you overdid it.
Yeah.
But you really shouldn't be in a ton of pain all day long. If you are, we're missing something probably.
We're such a medicated society. We want immediate gratification for everything. I've been on Ozempic for 6 months, and it hasn't helped for shit.
I still
That's
don't weigh 100
crazy.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I know.
The number of people that I talk to that are runners, cyclists, you name it, and I talk to them about having hamstring pain, back pain, whatever, and I'm like, how much do you stretch?
Oh, shit.
What's that?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I don't stretch.
Okay, you don't need any of this. Let's start with that. Like, you haven't even
Be honest.
low-hanging
Who
fruit.
at this bar stretches on a regular basis? You what?
I'm with you, man.
You
Yeah, I don't-
three
He
do?
does not, and I can.
Okay, I
Test
don't want to
this.
take. I just started, so it's like
It's still
Okay.
I have noticed a great improvement in like my back pain and all that from stretching starting a couple years ago. So I noticed a big difference with it,
QLs.
and it's also
Yeah.
a part of my job.
Yeah. Well, actually, I am stretching my shoulders. I'm doing that sleeper
Good.
stretch and stuff like
Yeah.
that because I need to.
Yep.
Yeah. David. Well, sorry.
I would just say, to the point of the medicated society, I can't tell you how many people I see for common colds. We have nothing, man. It's fine. You got a little sick.
Ride it out.
You got a little sick. It's okay. We don't have to treat everything.
Do
Your
you-
body will treat a lot.
Do you
Yeah.
really want to say, "Quit being such a bitch"?
Well, I wish I could.
Yeah.
A lot of times I wish,
I would just offer them an HTFU pill.
Yeah.
Oh my
And they
God.
go. I know they go to the pharmacy and they fill it. I'm here for HTFU, and the pharmacist hands them a bag and it just says "harden the fuck up."
That'd be
That's
great.
it.
It could
It's
just
just
be
like a
salt
sticker.
pills.
Yeah.
It could just be
No,
salt
you know
pills.
what it should just be is it should like what are those like the things that people smell before they like lift?
oh, the smelling salts.
Yeah,
a
smelling
lot of football
salts.
players do
smelling
that too.
salts.
Yeah.
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 That's what it's gonna be.
Or Paul's seen the birdcage.
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah.
The Pirin tablets. It's the aspirin. I scramble off the A and the S. The Pirin
The
tablets.
period.
Yeah.
That's honestly, David.
One
I
of the
think that's
best
$1 million
That's how we
idea.
retire.
That is how
Yeah.
we retire, boys, or we get more kegs,
bitch pills.
bitch pills,
Yeah.
Yeah, HTFU pills.
HTFU.
You know how much you'd get sued if you were creating that type of a placebo?
No, you just sell it as a supplement.
you're selling it as a joke,
Yeah.
honestly.
Sell it as a
Yeah.
supplement. There's
Yeah.
no regulations.
Oh.
That's a good point. It's a
Shit, there you
vitamin, vitamin HTFU.
You know what the pills consist of? Paul will only get this. They're the stuff the sticks are made out of in the Fun Dips.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think that Paul would only get that?
Yeah.
Come on,
I
we
don't
all have
get
had
it.
fun.
Actually, I think only Paul would get it because when in our day the Fun Dips came with 2 sticks.
Oh my god.
Did they come
What?
with 2 sticks?
Yeah.
Fine?
Back
Shit you
before
not. 2 sticks
It's
the penny
inflation.
pinchers got
and
involved.
3 flavors.
Mm.
2 sticks, 3 flavors.
How do you
Wow.
make that work?
It was as white as this piece of motherfucking paper.
How do you make it work though?
You enjoyed it, and then you sat in the backyard in a sugar-induced coma, and your parents were happy because you didn't move.
And then you munch on those sticks, and it's like
Yeah.
these
This
These
is
have
just-
no flavor.
This is just plain sugar.
Yeah.
This is sugar.
I didn't do those, so I wasn't into it.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah, it's too much sugar.
you on my
I explained I've got
Were you
hypoglycemia
Oh,
since I was a kid.
okay.
So,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
we all
Okay.
feel bad now.
yeah.
I don't.
What's the Robin Williams joke? The Robin Williams joke. Hey, let's give the candy canes to the hypoglycemic children. Thank you, Sam. How about a little cool down? With Jackson Bulger, we haven't done one in a little bit of time because we haven't seen you.
Yeah, I know. Last week I was doing a super fun study session. I was
Has
having
it been a
really good
whole
time.
year? We haven't seen you since last year. Is that
Yeah,
right?
oh my God!
Yeah.
You know
it
what?
hasn't been.
Study sessions in my day are what the kids today call Netflix and chill.
Oh.
That
Whoa.
really worries me about the academic culture of 19 whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Jackson, this is how you were born.
Yeah.
Theater major.
Yeah, well, yeah. We're all
I'm gonna go study
doing
lines.
movement exercises.
Yeah, exactly. Movement exercises.
That's a very niche reference.
That is.
Anyways, lately I've been getting into a core human basic, reading. I was a verbal.
Why?
I know. Over the past week, I'm not gonna call myself a reader.
Okay.
But I was prior to this last week. I was very verbal about the fact that I would never read. I remember there was a video that
What was your major again?
that was a minor. But there was a video that I always reference that is, I don't do one of the basic, like, I was like, I don't do what one of our survival ancestors taught us, and that is to read. And so I used to hate reading until this last week. And I found myself what they call doom scrolling, which is you think that a great post is going to come next, but it never comes. So I was just like, get off of it. It's kind of making me anxious. and that is on social media. And so I started to read. And first of all, my first question, I promise this associates with cycling in some way, shape, or form. Does anyone like to read?
I love books in audio form.
I think that counts.
I will listen to books all the time, but I don't want to sit down and read them. I'm also not I can't, I don't have great comprehension skills for reading.
Yeah.
But if I'm listening to it, I can absorb it all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I do it.
Yeah. Paul, what about you?
I do like reading, but I have problems with it because I'm dyslexic, so it's very exhausting.
So
for me.
am I.
And
Okay.
I'll fall asleep if I need it. If I'm can't sleep, I'll just grab a book, start reading it, and then I'm down. Because I think it's just so much labor trying to get things switched around. So.
Yeah, 100%.
But I do. I've enjoyed, and I've read quite a bit in my past, but not like my wife. But my wife reads a book.
But also, you need to
week,
take into account that the amount of cycling media you take in and read articles and things like that. Let's not forget.
I wish I could say that's it, but I do a lot more YouTube.
Do you?
Yeah,
Do you?
a
Okay.
lot more.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Maybe you're auditory. I mean, I think you're a lot like me in that way.
Yeah. I have dyslexia also. I mean, I've dealt with it my left and right. Don't
I
even
was
get
in
me
a
started. My
special ed
wife
reading
has
class
to
until
my wife has
seventh
to
grade.
tap me on the
Yeah.
shoulder to tell me which way to turn. Shit, you not. Yeah. She's like left.
Oh, they're lapped.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. She'll
Yeah.
tell me, is the camera on me? She'll tell me, take a left. And without thinking, I just do that as a habit.
Oh my
I swear to God. No, I always have. Always have.
I was making fun of you, and it's real.
No, I do it all the time.
You've been conditioned.
Absolutely. It's just a little crutch. It's a way I help myself. Yeah.
That never worked for me because I keep thinking, is that the right direction?
Oh my
That's how
God, I'm
bad I
gonna
am.
fuck with you
Yeah.
so much when we ride.
Oh yeah.
This is really
No,
bad
my left
for
and
me to
right.
know.
My left and right. I've always had a difficulty with.
Pat,
Thanks,
go
Sam.
right.
Thanks, Sam. Make fun of my. My
I'm gonna go the other way.
Yeah. You know what I'll say? Sam, get a friend. Anyway.
David, do you like to read?
Mixed feelings. It's all, I read all day long, but not
Do
for
ya?
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all I do is read charts,
Yeah.
and then go talk to people, and then type in and reread and blah, blah, blah. But when I have the time and the space, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy reading, like specifically sci-fi.
There we go.
I don't want to read anything
Yeah.
other than sci-fi.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to ask me next.
And audiobooks don't count.
You sure? You're damn right they do. I think
I
they
100%
do.
agree.
you.
I think
No,
they do.
Sam,
Even though I
I-
was mean to you,
I fly
thank
through
you.
a lot of. I'm right now. I'm the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a great book.
Yeah.
And I finished that, and now I'm reading. And I can say these; they don't count as my F's
No, that
because of the
doesn't
title of the
count.
book.
That's the title.
I'm reading his second book called Everything Is Fucked.
Wow, do you just Google fucked?
No. Google fuck? That
That's a
just
good-
sounds interesting. That sounds a way like anyway.
Yeah, just-
But no, I've liked that first book, and I liked his style, and he narrates it himself, and he's good. And I also read a science fiction series called The Murderbot Diaries, which are really interesting.
Read or listen?
Listen. I listen while I'm on the trainer. That's what I do when I'm on the trainer in the winter.
It's not
Crazy.
reading.
It's
I-
crazy you
Not
mentioned that.
reading with your ears.
But I also do like to read. I do read some books. I do read for work because I have to read a lot of scripts and things like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
But I really like graphic novels. Really like. I'm gonna say it. I like comic books.
Well, I think that's
Love 'em.
I think that's what's so interesting about literature is we all find the specific genres or things that we find interesting about it. David,
Yeah.
you find sci-fi interesting, things like that. I have recently also started listening to an audiobook while I've been on the trainer. Or while I've been
take
driving.
that, David.
Yeah.
David, you
Listening,
stupid idiot.
not reading.
See,
now that I can
however-
see you, I don't like you.
My wife is an avid reader, and she was the one that I
Very
will
much.
say pushed me into that zone of thinking about reading. And she says she doesn't read the books; she listens to them when she's in conversation. You know, like I didn't read that book, but I listened to it. You know,
Oh.
yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, so she doesn't say she read it,
You
but
would.
yeah, but she still puts it on her read list for the year.
Fair.
You know,
Yeah.
So I guess my next question, if we have time for it,
We
have
do.
you ever considered listening to audiobooks whilst training?
Love.
I do all the. I
Absolutely.
do now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I find there are certain workouts I can or can't, though. Like an interval workout, I can't
Has
because
to
I'm
be
like,
Top
going,
Gun.
this sucks. This is terrible. Oh my God, my life sucks. Oh shit, I missed the last chapter. You know, or things like that. But if I'm doing an hour and a half on Zwift, and I do the climbs of the climbs, and the this is the that and the other thing, yeah, fire it up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I love it.
Yeah. I've been really enjoying it.
I really like, there are a couple styles. I like listening to the author read their own books, which I think is really good. There are some professional readers who do it out there. David Stanley, who I've done the Feed Zone on Cycling Legend, he's read some books. I mean, he does some book reads. And there are also cast recordings where you have like a cast doing the book. And it's just like story time. How do you feel about this, David? You just going to be over there, Mr. Judgy McJudgy
Okay,
Pants?
look, here's the deal.
You're all stupid.
You're
all stupid because you don't read. I'm intellectual.
I think it's really hard to read a full book. Like, it's
Absolutely.
really hard to find the time to sit down and read a book. And all I ask is that people don't go around talking about how they read 50 books last year, but they listened to all of them. Because I think that's again, it's a barrier. I'm like, I can't read 50 books in a year. I don't have time for that. Just say you listen to it like Maria does.
Yeah.
I listen to answer your question, I listen on the bike to podcasts though. Like I listen to medical podcasts. I don't listen to
This
books.
one.
Definitely
This
not
one.
this
Oh,
one.
fuck.
Yeah. Most people are going to listen to this one and they'll laugh so hard they fall off.
That's right. That's why you can't listen because you'll lose your balance on this run.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, that's my personal beef is that I find it really hard to read a book, and so I get a little like defensive and jealous. I'm like, no, it's not the same when you get to do 2 or 3 other things and listen, or drive and listen. It's a lot of commitment to sit down and actually read
So
a
you're
book.
you're just upset about the judgmental element of it. That
He's
people
pretentious.
that people pretend to
wanna be
be
able to.
intellectual by saying they've read all these books, and you're saying that listening isn't as intellectual as reading.
No, I want to be able to do it, and I can't. And so I hear all these people that are like, hey, I read all these books, and it sends a different message. Like, yeah, it's really not that hard. I can just read a book in like a night because they sat down and listened to it while they're doing something else.
Okay.
See, I think that's so interesting to us as a cyclist culture.
Yeah.
We
in
need
that-
to suffer for our pleasure.
I was going to
Yes.
say in that we compare ourselves so heavily to one another.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
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 Paul, I'm like you though. I can't if I have a book in bed, I am out in. I can't. I mean, I am
I'll go to
out
sleep.
in less than 3 minutes if
Paul,
I have a book in front of
Are
me.
you a listener though to books at all?
I tried. My wife is, because she used to be a avid reader, but she went to audiobooks because she can't flip a page and hold it while she's knitting. I mean, she knits. Any idle time, she's knitting. If she's not doing anything else, when we're even watching TV, she's knit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So she got me on because I like slow horses so much. She goes, wait until you got to listen to the books, and I can't. It doesn't, because what happens to me when I'm doing a task or I'm working around the house, I get sidetracked. What? I got to back it up. I ended up
Me
backing
too.
it up, backing
Yeah.
it up,
Yeah, me
and
too.
then
Yeah.
it doesn't work. And then on the trainer, I'd rather have something music because I don't, I lose track of like, I need to stand up. The same type of thing.
Sure.
I'm not focusing on the story.
Yeah.
Unless I was just staying at 80 RPMs for an hour. That's
Yeah.
about the only
Yeah.
way I could do it. But
And then the worst is when you're trying to listen to an audiobook while you're going to sleep, and then you wake up and it's 5 chapters later, and you're like,
Yeah,
I don't know
son
where
of
I
a bitch.
left
Yeah.
off.
yeah.
Well, I guess the last thing I'll say when it comes to this is I have tried to find a way to but make my anxious brain a little bit more leveled out, and reading has really brought me to that. So I was interested to hear what
It's
other
really
people's
cool, man.
other people's perspectives on the activity is. So
I want to say something about audiobooks. I will not shame them because I'm a storyteller, and that's basically what it's doing. And that was something that's passed on through generations after generation. It is a story. And I think whether you read it or you actually listen to it, it's
Well,
the
let's
same.
be honest. That's what I hope the person listening to everybody listening to this podcast right now is about. We are not an overly informational. Oh, we got some experts in the field. That's pretty cool. But to say,
And drunks.
yeah.
Yeah.
We are, as I say, like a group ride with friends, and I want that feeling to come across, and I want the stories to come across. I'm not going to scoop cycling news, and I say this all the time. This is a storytelling concept. So if you're listening to this while you're on the trainer for an hour and a half, That's the point. That's what.
Just don't call us a book.
Yeah. Just so you listen.
I
to
read the
read.
Packfiller book this week.
I ain't transcribing this shit.
I think the takeaway from this is that you and I are very similar, Pat.
Wow, enemies
Yeah,
to
you're
lovers
assholes.
trope.
That's
What?
Don't you
Talk about
just
reading.
hate how
Yeah.
much you love me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes, yeah.
I can't. What is it? I can't something you. It's a movie line. It's just like I can't
Live without.
I can't give you up.
Live without.
I know.
Something stupid.
It's likewise.
Holy shit. Hey, you guys, that brings us to an end of another Packfiller podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the show and our YouTube channel, as well as pop a review every now and then. We'd love to see that. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Do me a favor there. Gentlemen, our final question for the night. What is or was the best pair of cycling shoes you've ever owned? Best pair of cycling shoes you've ever owned. I will start because recently, indoor trainer, I went back to my Giro lace-ups, and they are they're like effing stiff slippers. They are so comfortable, and I realized I'm racing in the wrong shoes. Anybody else?
Yeah, every time that I buy a new pair of the Specialized shoes, I'm like, this is the best shoe I've ever owned.
Yeah.
I just love those things. Like, they fit me so well. And I've tried others, but they just fit me well. So I just stick with them.
I've picked an expensive brand, but I can't not agree with you when it comes to Giros. It's my Giro Empires right now.
I'm going back.
Fit
I
me
think.
perfectly.
I have like 5 pair of perfectly good cycling shoes, but I think I'm going to buy another pair.
Yeah.
Paul?
I love my CDs, but probably the most comfortable, not the stiffest, but the most comfortable shoe was a Charlie Motte Rabat.
That was a great shoe.
It was
I
so
loved that shoe. It
comfortable.
was hot. It's like wearing microwaves
No, I
on your
never
feet.
had
Circa
bumps with
1980.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
88.
David?
I would say that the best shoe is the S-Works Road shoe, but bang for your buck, I got a pair of S-Works lace-up mountain bike shoes for like $115, and those things are bang for your buck, the best shoe I've ever owned.
Should I worry about lace-ups? You know, they always
They
say,
work.
oh, it's not stiff
They're
enough in
fine.
the sprint.
They're
It's
fine.
like,
They work, man.
Yeah.
I'm not in the sprint anyway.
yeah, I'm not
so.
exactly contesting for World Cup points. I might get pulled for doping.
Right.
You know, they might. pull
At
me.
this point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pat,
they know.
come on. You get back into town. You got to
Yeah,
piss
you
in the
gotta
cup.
take a piss.
Yeah. Take the biz. You got to piss in the cup.
Dr. Whipples, I need my TUE.
That is what we're
that's
leaving
a
on.
callback.
Yeah.
Thank you.